Hello, everyone. Good morning, wherever you're tuning in, or good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we have our virtual goal planning event, and this was especially brought to you by sponsors of American Society of Community Benefits and our board members. And today we have two of our board members, me, Susan Vanderberg, and Coach T. Lee, our board secretary. Hello, Coach T. Lee.
Hi there.
Hello. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk about the topic and like how to stay motivated to reach your goals.
Yeah. So have you made your lists for the year?
You know what? I didn't make a list per se, but I did make a vision board, which is similar to a list.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So are you done with your vision board there, or
I'm
are you almost?
actually done with it, but I would have to get it if you guys wanted to see it. But I am
Yeah,
done. I
I love
created
to see it.
boards, a personal vision board and then a business one.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you want to go grab it?
Sure.
While she's doing that, I'll share with you what we had planned for me. Well, my background is real estate, finance, and legal. And since I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving attorney advice, or if anything I say is like legal advice, it's not. So it's more from my observations and from my experience. So today, what I want to share with you is something about money. What are people doing with their money, right? So the most important, T, are you back?
Yes.
Hello, T. All right. I was taking a little interlude.
No worries.
Hi.
So the vision board, this is
Uh-huh.
my personal one that I made last
Oh,
year,
fun.
2023. There was a lot of things
Uh-huh.
already accomplished for 2022. So I know 2023, most of these things are going to happen. It's going to be my year. And then this one is the business one and the things that I want to accomplish in business and in my organization. So it's amazing. So we got culture, celebrate, opening up the home. We got our magazine. We already have the magazine. More coaching, 5 stars. So yeah, there's a lot. So I do believe in vision boards, and I may talk a little bit about it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Take some look at it a little bit, and then
Can you can you share like all what's the most important to you, or you could even share all of it? What's important to you on those boards? Mhm.
I want to my personal one. The one that's most important to me is family time with my husband and my daughter, and that one is right here. Use this, my husband and my daughter, more time with them because I do feel like, we spend a lot of time with or doing other things and supporting other things when we need to build our family and, work towards that. So that's the most important to me on here. And then on the family side and personal side, but on the business side, I have the business side here. Continuing to maintain our resource center is important. And on the new one that I created, what's most important is allowing women to feel authentically connected and amazing. So the culture. So we want to build a legacy within my organization. So yeah. Mhm.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So tell me about your organization. I know we talked a little bit, but the
Um,
viewers tuning in might not know.
oh, no worries. So a little bit about my foundation. It's called She's
Mhm.
Network. I'm the CEO and founder, and we provide resources for women very, very similar to American Society of Community Benefits.
Oh wow, okay.
That's why we did decide to partner with them, and I'm very happy that I'm also part of the board and I'm also secretary because
Yes.
I'm able to help any way that. So we do have 6 areas of focus, and one of them
Mhm.
primarily being mental health, housing, and food. Those are the top 3. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited. Uh, yeah.
And there's like an intersection between what we provide at American Society of Community Benefits, and primarily what we do is housing for the
Yes.
veterans, domestic abuse survivors, and the foster youth. And then what meshes with what you do is that we provide service and um, what do you call it? Community service, and we provide support throughout the entire year. So it's not just during the holidays or special events.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
thank you, T. You've been a lifesaver. You've been amazing.
Thank
T is often available. Well, she's not available, not always, but she makes time for for our organization, along with 1,000 of other things that she has going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are great goals that you have. I was
Thank
looking at what you mentioned about the resource center, and I
Oh,
know we've talked about that for a couple of years now.
yes.
So what do you need for the resource center?
Right now we more so need sponsors. We need sponsors. That's really huge.
And the way to get a hold of you is through your Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah, you can contact me on Instagram or
Okay.
Facebook. T Lee SIFN. So I'll put that here in the chat so you can put it up.
Okay, cool.
Out to me.
I know we're planning some very exciting events this year, and T is like integral to all of that. So thank you again, T.
You are so welcome. There, so if you want to put that up, it's easier to reach me on Facebook, but you have to comment on one of my posts and say, "Hey, I inboxed you."
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Well, T is often running around doing a lot of things.
Yes.
I know we have a February event coming up. That's unless there's another one before then.
No, February 11th.
Okay. It's she keeps us very busy,
Yes, and actually, American Society is going to be there. They're going to have their step
Yes.
and their banner and backdrop. So if you want to meet Susan with American Society benefits, you guys come on down.
Yeah. Well, T would definitely be there.
Yeah.
It's her event, and yeah, she created our step and repeat, so that I'm really excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
And
definitely going to need people to volunteer. So if you
yeah, we need that too.
because putting it up can be a booger if it's only 2 people.
Oh
So.
shoot. Well, I'm short. Is that my excuse for not helping?
Well, so
Darn.
we
I
definitely
don't
need
know.
the
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there. With our wonderful step and repeat. It's really cool. And you also have our banner that you've created.
I
And
do.
so T owns a marketing company as well. And that's not the nonprofit. You have to
Right.
pay her for those services.
Yeah.
And she's very skilled.
A huge portion of the proceeds does go toward the foundation. So maybe you and I can also talk about ways that I can help the American Society of Community fundraise through the marketing as well.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's your vision board.
Yes.
As you go through the vision board through the year, do you do like a little check mark next to what you've already accomplished?
I do a star, like a little star.
Oh, okay. I never put a vision board together.
But our next one, whenever it is, you definitely should come. I'll make sure that you get the information.
Well, you have to. I don't know. I never really put one together. I have too many papers, To me, that's another piece of paper to add to my piles. So
yeah.
I try to keep everything neat, but I have a lot of paper.
Yes. So I do. I don't know when you want me to share them, but I do have the tips about how
Oh yeah,
to create it.
please do right now. If you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. So what I can say, you guys, is life is life. Okay, so even though you're working really hard and you're consistent and you're just doing everything you can to get it done or make it happen within your personal life, life is going to happen. And it's very important that you remain motivated and encouraged to continue to pursue whatever it is you're going for. And the reason why I say that it's important to continue to pursue it is because sometimes when you are so close to actually reach that major goal, when you're so close to that finish line, you want to give up. And if you've given up, you'll never get a chance to see what the end result could have been. So it's very important to stay on the track and not to give up. And so I want to give you some tips to help you stay motivated. One of the biggest things that I always tell people to help you stay motivated is you, number one, have to believe in yourself. So believe in you and believe in your potential, because you literally have the capability and ability to do anything you put your mind to.
Mhm.
With hard work, dedication, determination, drive, you can do it. You see, Susan created an organization. She's a living witness that if she can do it, you can do it. If you've seen someone do something, do not feel like you don't have the ability to do it. And then keep
Mhm.
in mind, the people who you are around can also put their fears on you. So don't allow other people's fears to stop you from reaching what your dreams and goals are or reaching your best ability. Another tip is to literally just take one day at a time.
Mm.
You know, you're only one human being. You can't do a million gazillion things at once unless you've already made something, or if you know you can handle it. So if you know you can handle it, that's different. But just take it one day at a time, and pace yourself so that you can continue to stay motivated with realistic time. So what that means is, if you tell yourself, I want to finish 17 things in one day, and you only finish one, you're going to be discouraged. It's going to
Only
make
17?
you, yeah, right? And
Yeah.
you want to stay motivated. You want to stay encouraged. Um, Another thing is, I would say, is to let go of what you cannot control. Because a lot of
Yeah.
times, like I said, if you
Mhm.
follow me, or if you know of me, or if you ever see me here, I'm always going to say life is literally 90% what you make it, and the 10% is
Mhm.
what happens in life. So the 10% is always going to happen, but you have control over the 90%. So you can't control the 10. So just let it go, okay? Let it go. It's easier said than done, but it takes practice. If it's not in your control, if you can't control it, just brush it off and know that you have control you have control of you. You have control of your actions, your mind, and your thoughts, okay? Another one is surround yourself with positivity. Pay attention to what you pay attention to. If
Mhm.
you know that you're around negative people, and
Yep.
may not be the best thing for you, okay?
Right.
If
Mhm.
you know they're speaking negativity, maybe if you're around them and you can't help it being around them, you can change the topic or subject,
Mhm.
and kind of encourage them to be positive, or bring up something positive about them or about the situation. So you have 90% control. Another one that I do believe in, you guys saw, which are the vision boards. Like, vision boards are super, super, super great to use and to have, to kind of have your vision plain. It's it's just so you can see it and wake up every day and be motivated. It's an inspiration, um, for what your goals and your dreams are. If you write it down on a sheet of paper, you'll remember it. If you put it on a poster, with and you cut out pictures and words, you'll also remember it because you've seen it. It's in your mind. Um, eh, if you're just saying you're going to do something without writing it down, sometimes it's easier.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's harder to accomplish.
Yep.
Okay, so it's easier to not accomplish it if you're writing it down, okay.
Yep.
Another one is organize your thoughts. Whatever's going on in your mind, you have these goals and dreams and ideas. Write them down. If you have to do a Google Doc every time you think of it, do it. Or if you are a person where you're in the bed and you think yourself to sleep, or you think before you go to bed and then you go to sleep, write down the things you're thinking, and or keep a notepad next to you. So if you had a dream and you wake up, you can write. Also, one is be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may not be able to obtain those goals right away, or when you desire to obtain them. Don't beat yourself over the head because you weren't able to reach the goal, or reach the dream, or reach where you wanted to reach yet. Notice that yet. You're not
Mhm.
yet, but you will get there. It might not take 2 months. It might not take 3 months. It might not take a week. It might not even take a year. It might take you 3 years. But as long as you keep going and you continue, you will do it. I know you can. So another one is, what I always say is compare yourself to yourself. Compare your to yourself. Okay. I'm just gonna give you an example. If I've been in a certain company for, let's just pretend I'm in an LMLM company, and I've been in the company for 8 years, and I'm already making 8 figures, right? I'm just saying, I'm giving you a hypothetical.
Mhm.
And you come in the company, and you've only been in the company 2 months, and I'm already making 8 figures, and you're comparing yourself to me, and you're wondering why you don't have that. You have to think about the longevity. You have to think about the time and effort and energy that I could have put in to get this.
Yep.
So compare yourself to yourself, because you never know what people had to do or had to go through to get to where they are. So if you just
Mhm.
compare yourself to yourself, you're like, okay, I'm just going to work on becoming the best version of myself. I'm just going to work on what I can do to make sure that I succeed and get to the level of where they are. Let it not discourage you, but instead encourage you to see and to know that you also can achieve whatever it is that they achieve. Another one,
Mhm.
to ensure your goals are your goals. Yes, you have business coaches, you can have mentors, you can have all these things. But if you know you, it's very important to be transparent with your coach. Hey, this is what I'm capable of doing. This is what I'm going to be able to do. But yeah, I'm willing to stretch, but I can't stretch that far. So make the goal what you feel that you're able to accomplish, or maybe even if you're able to stretch a little bit, that would be great. But if you feel that it's overstretching, don't keep it hush hush
Mhm.
and not tell your coach, because then again, you have to think of it like this. You also can get discouraged from not reaching the crazy goal. And sometimes your coach can get discouraged because they're like, I put in all this time, energy, and effort, and they didn't. I wonder why. But
Yeah.
yes, they know why, because of your what you've been doing through your actions. But still, you want to be realistic with your goals and ensure that it's a
Mhm.
goal that you set and a goal that you know that you can obtain with a little stretch. A little stretch is always good because it shows you're making some kind of progress, or some kind of growth, basically,
Mhm.
for that matter. So another thing that I would say is, remove your distractions, which is extremely hard.
Yes.
It is extremely hard to remove your distractions, especially
Mhm.
if it's your child. What I found that works is, with one of my clients particularly, I told her to let her son know, hey, mommy's on timeout for 15 minutes, and when the time is off, mom.
Timeout. That's great.
So you have to find ways to balance.
Mhm.
um you just have to find ways to balance and remove your distractions. Your distraction could be procrastination, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I have this distracted spirit of, I'll do it tomorrow because I want to watch more TV,
Mhm.
right? So you want to figure out ways that you can prevent the procrastination and prevent the distractions from happening. You could
Mhm.
definitely do a chart. What do
Yep.
I want my goals to be? What I feel may stop me, and how I'm going to prevent it if it arises. And it helps give you a visual. And another one is celebrate your wins. Okay. So all wins are wins, even if it's small.
Yep.
Like, let's say my goal is $200 and I made $201. That is a win because I made $1 more than what I made the following month or the following year, or whatever the goal was. So you want to celebrate your wins and don't beat yourself up. You definitely want to track your goals, because if you don't track your goals, you won't really be able to see what type of progress you made. If I didn't track my goal of making the $200 and I only made $201, I would have said, oh, well, it's the same thing. And I didn't really get to see the progress because I didn't track it. I didn't write it down. Um, I didn't do it. So also, what I would suggest with this is what a lot of people don't do, is when you write your goals, it's okay to change them and readdress them to your situation. So let's say I lived in I don't know, I had an amazing apartment, and all of a sudden something happened where I had to move in and rent a room. And now, because I moved into renting a room, I can't be as loud as I used to be on my broadcast. I can't do this, I can't do that. So it's definitely okay to readjust maybe your energy or readjust your situation. Maybe you can go to the library and get a quiet room to rent. So just readjust. You know what I mean? Like readjust. It's okay to readjust because again, life happens. Life literally happens. And then also when you feel discouraged, focus on the benefits of your goals. So if I reach this goal, so you ask yourself, if I reach this goal, what can happen for me reaching this goal? Develop healthy habits by keeping a positive mindset, positive affirmation, a positive circle. Be confident in yourself. Um, just just know that you got it. And to help stay motivated, the last thing I want to say, and I probably said it earlier, is to find a motivational speaker to listen to. Go on YouTube, Google motivational speakers. Gloria Mayfield Banks is great. Eric Thomas is great. There's so many amazing motivational speakers you can listen to keep you motivated. So, have any questions, you guys can ask them or shout. Yeah, so if you have questions, Miss Susan,
Well, I didn't want to interrupt, you know.
yeah,
I was like, should I be writing all this down? It's a lot.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, am I doing some of this stuff already? And I
yeah,
think I am. Actually, I am.
I
If I
love
don't write it down, I don't get it done. If it doesn't get on my calendar, it's like, oh,
right. There's something I just
I don't
came
think about it.
right. There's something that just came in my mind, and I'm speaking to myself too. Get sleep. I don't know who that's for, but get sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Yeah,
me,
you
like
need
I'm
that.
tired, like I don't have all the energy right now. Like normally I'm, but what I'm
Really?
saying, it's important. Yeah, I mean, I have energy right now, but not my extra energy. um, it's important to get rest. You know,
Hmm.
get rest because the last thing
Hmm.
you do, or also take vitamins because you want to not pass out. Drink water. Take care of your health because your health is important. Your mental health and physical health. Okay.
Yeah, very important. I know it. Been there. I mean, ups and downs in
Yeah.
life oftentimes can affect people differently.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And not just your own ups and downs, but people around you with their ups and downs that could also affect you. So I've learned that too, Also, who you surround yourself with is what makes who you are. So last night I was counting who are the 5 people I'm surrounded with every day and how are their opinions affecting who I am and what I do every day. So I'm like, who are the people? You're one of them, T.
Uh, uh,
I was like, ooh, that's great. So that that's it's like inspirational at the same time as it is motivational for me to get things done, you know. And when I do find, like one of your points, don't compare yourself to others. When I find myself comparing to someone else, even if it's like a fictional character in a movie, you know, I'll be like, oh, I want to be like that. Even if it's like She-Hulk,
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that show, but she's an attorney and she becomes this big green, like Hulk, but only it's a female Hulk.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I thought, oh, if I were her, but then if I'm comparing myself to others, then I sort of become a little bit miserable. But when I compare myself to like just me, what I've done, how far I've come, then I realize, okay, I'd have to be grateful because all kinds of things could have happened. Like, bad things could have happened. you know.
Mhm.
Um, and this morning I was doing. Oh, thank you, Maria. Maria just told us bravo. Thanks, Maria. Thank you for your support. So this morning I was talking to my husband and.
I just shared it. Sorry. That
Oh,
was
I was like, whoa, where'd that
us.
come from?
That was
Thank. What's that, T?
Yeah, that was me. I'm sharing it.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Um, so I was asking him about. I was asking him. I lost my train of thought. He and I were talking. See, my memory is going because I have so many. If I don't write it down, I just don't think about it because that's how focused I need to be. It's like, and I really had to block my time because of all the things I'm doing. So if it's not on my calendar, it's like, oh, never made it to my calendar. I know I had no idea, no plans to do whatever it is, that we might have talked about. The key word there is might, because I truly don't remember. If it's not on my list or if it's not on my calendar, it's like, I guess we might have talked about it, but I don't know. So remember, it has to be on my calendar. So it does keep me motivated when I go throughout my day to see what else do I have to accomplish today, because each thing that I have today to do leads me to tomorrow, something else that I need to do tomorrow. Don't mute yourself, T. We're having a conversation. I'm not trying to overtake your
Oh no, you're
points. Yeah.
But you know what I do love too is that the good thing about life is you have people, or if you don't, now you do. So hello. You have people who are here to help you through it with motivation. And I think the biggest things in life is financial literacy and financial knowledge.
Yeah.
I think that is extremely important, and financial wealth, because a lot of people don't know about it. You know, a lot of people are like, okay, well, I don't understand how this person just moved to my community and they purchased this huge house. They were just in an apartment 2 weeks ago,
Right.
right? And, and the thing is, we have to remember, do we really understand money? Do we understand credit? Do we understand how it works? And I think that those things are really huge. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because sometimes a lot of us are not motivated because we feel like we don't have the finances or the money or the means to purchase or to pursue our dreams. We need money to pursue our dreams. And honestly, that is not the case. If you pursue your dreams and you're diligent, you're consistent, the money will come. But you just have to keep going. You have to keep doing it. The money will come. And I'm really happy that Susan's going to be actually talking about finances today, because it's literally a huge part of us being successful, generating wealth, learning how to balance. I know that Susan has an amazing company that can also help you guys figure out your budgeting and how to balance your finances and how to fix your credit. Those things are huge. I'm going to tell you, I grew up in foster care. A lot of resources were not provided to me. I had no idea credit, you know, but then it was so funny. I went and got a car, and when I looked at my credit was like 750. I had no idea what
That's
credit
really
was.
good.
I didn't know what credit was. I didn't know anything, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." But I really wish somebody was able to tell me I could have purchased the house. I didn't know I would have.
Yes.
I would have purchased like 3 or 4 houses by now.
Yeah, you
but
can. Let's plan on that. Was that on your vision board?
Yes, actually, it
The
is.
house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so at the time, I had no idea. Like, nobody said anything. Like, man, I have 4 jobs. I was making a killing. I mean, I'm still making still. If I just would have known, if somebody would have just told me. And so I'm happy that that's why we're here also, to give you knowledge. Say, hey, you know, we've been there. We don't want you to fall into the traps, or we don't want you to have to go through the mistakes we went through. We want to give you a clean slate, and we want to make it easier for you. And so I think that that is really, really, really huge, a really huge aspect.
Yes. Finance is pretty much what can dictate your life, and how you use money is what can create your choices. You know, some people can make money work for them or against them. And I've learned to make it work for me and for my clients, you know.
Yes.
I feel like I've found the secret, but I don't want to share it with everybody, because people have been struggling for so long. I think I did tell this in private. People have been struggling so long. It's like, how do I become rich like this guy or that girl with billions of dollars, right? But is that what you define rich? Is money, dollar signs? Is that how you define rich? Or is how you define rich your life experiences and your quality of life and what you are happy with doing every day of your life? So I'm looking at wealth as not just money, but how you live your life with dignity and abundance. And
Absolutely.
don't live with a lacking mentality, because when you are living with lack, you're living in fear, and your choices are limited to fear. So fear also keeps people in their comfort zone. And remember, the people you surround yourself with, you're also in the comfort zone of those people
Yep.
sharing the similar fears, right?
Absolutely.
So once you reach out of that comfort zone, and I've talked to a lot of mentors about this, that I've once felt, actually not just once, but multiple times, felt I was a big fish in a very small pond. And as soon as I've reached another level of my goals, I was like, wow, I need more people to learn from. I seriously need to reach out and get out there, do something different that all these people that I know are not doing. And that led me to a lot of adventures in life, a lot. I mean, not to say that everything that I touch turns to gold. It's just that if you're too afraid to move out of your comfort zone, and you find someone who can help you move out of your comfort zone, but you don't take that advantage or take it that chance, you're not giving yourself that advantage. You're not giving yourself that chance because this person took it upon himself or herself to share some knowledge with you, and then you decided, well, maybe next time, because and you come up with some whatever excuse or reason that you had going at that moment, and then that opportunity passes, and you might not have another person that comes along like that again to share with you some very like valuable experience that you probably wouldn't even hear about or know of unless you follow that person. So I felt really, well, as you know, I am not born in the United States, or I was not born in the United States. English was like my second language. I grew up very poor, and my parents were immigrants. Of course, later on became naturalized and became United States citizens. I was the first of 5 children, and you know, nothing was easy growing up. We were often struggling for food, for shelter, for rights. Yeah, rights. RIGHTS. What do I mean by that? Equal rights. Women, back then we were renting. Well, first place that my parents rented was a basement in San Francisco, and it had literally when you walked in. I thought this was normal in America. When you walked in from a busy alley in San Francisco, where all the druggies were, drug addicts were hanging out, you walk in there and it's dark. And I thought, well, this is what a basement is supposed to be. It's supposed to be dark, right? So we go in. I go into what I called my house. It's my basement. And I imagined each room was like a big bedroom with all these furnitures and everything. I was a really imaginative person, and I imagined I had a huge house because we did when we were in Vietnam. We had a huge house, and we had servants. We had all kinds of stuff, So I imagined that's the life that I had, even though I didn't have it. But I didn't realize, we were really impoverished. We were living in a basement with no running hot water. We took our baths and our showers in the garage. Well, it was not really garage, in the garden, and it was sometimes used as a garage by the neighbors, and oftentimes it's like dark when we're taking a bath, so we could see the moonlight, and it's foggy in San Francisco. Sometimes it's sprinkling, and I would look up above me, and I'm like, hey, that's where the landlord lives. I wonder what it looks like in there, right? So one day I think my parents said they didn't want to live there anymore, and decided that we'll go visit the landlord. So we went in there, and I thought, wow, this is different from what we live in. They have lights, they have carpet, they have a kitchen with nice counter and a stove and a fridge, and wow, and there's running water, and they haven't shared this with us. So I was shocked. I mean, nobody should live in a place that is not really like fit to live in. That's why we have housing rights and tenants rights. And back then, my parents didn't know about those rights. So we moved to another place, and then I was cleaning mildew off the bathroom walls almost every weekend.
Oh, wow.
And I thought to my mother, I said to her, "Is this healthy for kids to do, like on the regular basis? Are we supposed to be sniffing in this chlorine and the mildew smell and the whatever else is growing on the walls?" And she said, "Oh, stop complaining. You have a place to live. They're nice to rent this place to us." The reason she said that was because two parents, right, with 5 kids, people don't want to rent to us because of that. Because we're young kids. We're gonna mess around the house, or mess things up around the house. That was their rationale. That's the landlord's rationale, and that's discrimination. Can't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So yeah, we pretty much lived like that until I guess I got more educated. Spoke up a little bit more. My parents didn't give up struggling. I mean, they didn't want to struggle anymore, so they didn't give up on their dreams of becoming business owners and homeowners. And then that just sort of inspired me to continue fighting, and that's where the motivation came in. I mean, I was inspired all my life by my parents, by the courage that they've shown with everything that they've done, even being discriminated against and picked on by others. They kept going, so I kept going. So that's motivation. Like, you have to keep that fire burning, right? And I know you mentioned about money. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about that. So I had really bad credit because I was like a lot of people when we go to college. There's these vendors that will come in and they have these tents and these booths that they'll show us, like, hey, why don't you apply for a credit card? I'm like, what's a credit card? I had no idea back then, right? This was when I first started college, and my parents never used credit cards, so I didn't know what that meant. So I applied. I qualified for like 5 credit cards, and I started using the credit cards. I didn't know how to, like, are we supposed to pay them back, or what does this work? How does this work? Nobody told me. So then I started getting collection calls like, hey, you're supposed to pay us. I'm like, pay you what? Like what you used. Like, oh, is that why you've been sending me those letters? Because I had no idea, right? This was before the internet, before making payments online or on the website. You had to actually mail a check. You had to mail a check 5 days before to make sure it gets there, and you had to promise them that you mail the check. Otherwise, they'll keep calling you. So I ended up getting those collection calls, became a debtor, and huge debt, like in college. And then I ended up working 5 part-time jobs just to try to pay off my credit cards. I also started my own small businesses just to try to pay off my credit cards. And I was like, I was really, I guess, financially struggling. But then my mother's like, how many kids do you have? She asked me that. I'm like, what? She's like, how many kids do you have? Why are you working so many jobs? I'm like, oh, I don't have any, just you guys. Because I was helping with the rent and I was helping with the groceries and whatever we needed at the house. It was more like I help the family. We don't think of, oh, it's my money, I do whatever I want, I go out and party. I never did that. So I was pretty responsible with money. But even then I still got into like these credit problems, and then I learned how to fix my credit problems. I never followed any of these programs that are being advertised these days because I learned from my own experience. I learned what worked, what didn't work. And later on, these other programs came out. I thought, oh, wow, I already know all that stuff. I mean, I'm not learning anything new from these people. And then, of course, I started telling myself how to create income, from assets generating, like income generating assets. I taught that. I took one accounting class in college, but then I also took a tax preparation course which was going to certify me as a tax preparer and an enrolled agent. But I became so busy with other things that I didn't pursue getting my certification in being an enrolled agent. I might do that later. We'll see. So I also had a job as a collector. The people who call and quote unquote harass you to pay up. I was one of those people. So I was like, yeah, you have to pay this, sir. and they'll get angry at me. Why are you collecting from me? Well, because you owe the money, sir. I had really, really interesting conversations with people. This was at night. That's my part-time job at night at the bank. And it's like, oh, hope they don't find me because they'll kill me, because these people are really angry that we're calling them. And we were in an unmarked building, and I was not supposed to give out my address, but one day I did give out my address, so some guy stalked me to my office. And the security guard said, did you know you're not supposed to give out our address? I said, oh, I didn't know. I thought he was a friend of mine, Anyway, he was trying to go up to our office suite, and he got stopped. Okay, so back to the credit thing. So I know what it means to be a debtor being collected from, what it means to be a collector trying to collect from someone, and all the techniques people use to try to get out of like not paying the bills. I know what works, what does not work, what stories to tell, what's stories to avoid telling. And anyway, I started my own little company. It's called Credit Cure. I'll show you the website is getcreditcure.com. It's more than just repairing credit. We don't just repair credit. It's more like we look at the overall situation of your lifestyle, create a budget that works for you. And it's not like starve yourself, deprive yourself of stuff you want. And, that's not how it works. Basically, the budgeting is very customized to your lifestyle. Do you have any questions?
Oh no. So,
I feel like I'm just rambling. I didn't want to do that. I was like, let's keep this conversational.
I'm gonna check on my daughter. Hold on. Sorry.
Huh?
I said
Oh, someone.
check on my daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. So back to me. Well, anyway, I have another show where we talk a little bit about money, and these are short segments on the shows. So here's one of the. Here's just something really quick that I put together and on one of the shows. So this is what I call the money tips, and it's really quick. So this one is about like your needs and your wants. So what do you need and what do you want? When you get overwhelmed with your debt, it's like, oh, I don't want to look at it, right? But you have to. If you don't look at it, it's going to come after you like really aggressively. Just like I remember myself being a collector. I'm like, okay, I need to call them. Doesn't matter if they say they are not paying. I still have to call them. So that's the collector's job. Collector will call to keep calling and will continue sending you those letters, especially if you owe them money. And if you owe money on a vehicle, yes, you will get repossessed. I mean, not you, but the car will get repossessed because they have people to locate those vehicles. And I know that from experience. So anyway, needs versus wants, to get yourself focused on what you need to spend and what can wait. All right. So this is like a really quick, like emergency situation. This is what you need to do first. Think of what you need and what you want. Make a list of 2 columns, needs, and then on the other side, wants. What you need now to live, like, what do you need? Like food, clothing, shelter, right? Those are your needs. Wants are like the fun stuff. Fun stuff. Right, T? What do you do for fun?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, at one point I'm like a big little kid. I love to go to Six Flags.
Ooh.
Big
Thrill
little,
seeker.
yeah, I love to movie theaters, to drive in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I like to get my nails done.
Oh, okay. Glammy.
I have to do it.
Right?
My nails done and my hair done in like 3 or 4 months, probably 5 months.
Ooh. Aw.
But if I did my hair, I did it myself. If my hair is done, I did it myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So would you say the nails is a want or is a need?
It's a want. It's a want.
But it's a need if it's for mental health purposes, right?
You know what? If I had to be transparent,
Yeah.
nails, and it actually makes me feel really great.
Mm-hmm.
I do it for self-care purposes, but I do also feel like self-love is not always about just buying yourself stuff.
Yeah.
But it's actually a little different.
Oh, I know.
But yeah.
I know. See, I wasn't trying to make an argument for you or against you. I've been there, like, can I spend it now or can I wait,
A lot of that we can do for our mental health.
I know. Yeah. So, okay. So let's just say nails didn't matter to you. So that would be a want. So you can do without the nails. You look pretty anyway.
Some people feel otherwise. I think it may just depend on the person then.
I know, it does. So that's what's different about our budgeting is that we look at what you need and what you want. And, it's a basic I think it's a basic concept, but others might not agree. So anyway, one of the foundations is what do you need, what do you want, right? Especially if you're in an emergency situation, your cash is running low, and your gas bill is due, your water bill's due, electricity's due, and like, okay, garbage bills due, taxes are due. Like, oh my gosh, everybody wants money from me, right? So now you can imagine yourself just running out of the house and like, I'm gonna run away. I don't want to hear it from anybody. Just turn off my phone, turn it, like disconnect my phone, just send everybody to spam. Like, don't want to talk to anybody. But I've been through that. I did that too. That's called avoidance. You cannot avoid it. Yeah. Once, you just have to focus. Just first step, needs versus want. All right. So we've decided you don't need the nails unless for self-care purposes, right? Do you need Six Flags? Roller coasters?
No, I'm just kidding. I had probably 2 years or 3 years, because I had my daughter and then just work. So but I do want to go back. I just don't know what.
Oh, well, you know what we did was we got a season's pass because we never got one, and we thought, oh, I don't personally like. Well, I do go on roller coasters, but I'm like, if I do like risky things, is my life insurance agent going to say, hey, we're going to cancel your policy? You know what I mean?
Find out.
Right?
No, I don't think they never ask me questions. Do you go on roller?
I know. They ask if you go bungee jumping,
oh,
skydiving. Yeah. Or if you do like, what else do you do that's risky? I know they've asked me one more thing. Race car driving. That was another thing. Do you go race car driving? I'm like, no, I'm a very boring person.
Also, your job.
Oh yeah, what kind of job do you have? I'm like, I'm a very boring person. I sit behind a desk all day long. It's just so boring. I'm just so boring, But I have so much fun. I really do. I tell them that too. Yep. So I enjoy life, and they look at what kind of medication you take in case you're suicidal,
Yes,
and oh yeah,
they're gonna make it so hard for you to get life insurance if your doctor that you ever had depression.
Yes.
So depression, you don't really have to tell your doctor. If you have a therapist, you can. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I can tell you about that too.
Yeah. If you never ever been,
let's talk in private.
Right? For real. If you've never been diagnosed with depression and you told your doctor one time that you're depressed and they wrote that down, but it wasn't anything serious, if it wasn't serious and you told them, then it might count against you if you're trying to go get. It's crazy how a system works, or they might try to double charge you or something like that. It's crazy.
So if you're like an excellent health rating, it goes from excellent to very good, if you're admitted once to the hospital for mental issues. Anyway, but that's not for all carriers. So some carriers don't even look that far. It just depends on who you have as your insurance broker. And I have a lot of insurance brokers. I have a fascination for life insurance. Well, I mean, if you're going to roller coasters, you better have some kind of backup plan, right? Or if you're feeling depressed, especially.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's, we can talk more about that later. But today I was just trying to go through a really quick needs versus wants.
Right.
But then I really do enjoy this conversation that we're having. So I like that. Thank you.
A little bit I said this is absolutely different from most things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most videos and things you go to, it's not necessarily conversational, and I think that this is great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So then I did like a little example, needs versus wants. All right. So you have $100 as an example. And we would say, okay, divide your money 50% to your needs, 30% to your wants, and then 20% to your savings, or debt. Right. But you can change those numbers around. You can change those allocations. I call the percentages your allocations, how much money you will put towards whatever. Some people might say, I'm going to put I'll use an envelope. I'll put some cash to do this, cash to do something else, cash to do something else. Right. Well, you can do that too. But the thing with the envelope is it's so easy. It's like,
Salute.
ooh, I have cash. Huh?
Salute.
What? What
So
tea?
we salute, like
Lose?
like misplace it.
Oh yeah, or spend it. Oops, that was an emergency. That was my emergency envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had another emergency envelope that you just went through last month, right? Or whatever it is. You have 3 emergency envelopes and they're all empty. I tried that too. It didn't work for me. I was like, yeah, it's too tempting. You know what
It
I mean? It's like, you know, too
it is
tempting.
me either because I spend it on the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's tempting, especially when you have habits that are hard to break. I mean, I know some people like, oh, I need that coffee in the morning. I need that tea. I need whatever, right? I need to go out on Friday nights with the gals or the boys. I need to go to the movies or whatever, right? So that's like a need, but it's supposed to be a want. So anyway, think about your money dividing into threes or thirds or fourths. But these are like the basic, really quick, just to quick numbers. 50% to your needs. That's housing, clothing, food. Don't forget food. 30% to your wants, like nails, uh, Six Flags, coffee. I don't know. I don't really drink coffee, but I'm usually like this anyway. So I don't
Well,
really need coffee.
you forgot one,
What
10%.
did I forget? Oh yeah, 10%. So the 20% can actually be divided into 10%, 10%,
Yeah.
or you can change it up whatever way you want
Oh,
that you're comfortable with doing. So the 20% of your income, you would go to savings or more debt. So that's like, it used to be like all of it went to credit card bills, right? So it's because I thought all of it was needs. Everything I bought was I needed it. That's why I use my credit card. So I paid it all into my credit cards, and all of a sudden, like, where's all my money? I mean, I had money in savings. I mean, but I never really had a goal, right? What was I saving for? Well, I was saving for an emergency, but then I thought, what's my emergency? I lived at home with my parents. If they couldn't pay the mortgage, I would probably help them out, or groceries or whatever. I would help them out. They never had to ask. Because I lived there, I feel like I'm part of the family. That's what we do. That's the way it is. So don't even ask. Like, they never had to ask, But if they had to ask, I knew that was a really desperate situation. And I remember one time my mother did have to ask, like, to borrow some money to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, because there was something that happened with, I don't remember what it was. It was something that happened and they needed money. And at the time I couldn't help them. So I felt like, oh, wow, I shouldn't be able to like say, I can't help you. I have to be able to help them. I have to be able to help the people I care about in my family anytime that they come to me or don't come to me. Anytime that they need help, I have to be there for them. So that was sort of something that woke me up, like I better be more aware, right, of where my money is going. It's not like I knew where my money was, but it wasn't really doing much for me. It was just in a savings account, and I realized, what was the interest rate?
99.8% APR.
Now,
No, the yeah,
0.0005%
interest high.
current day.
So
But back then it was like 2%, 3%. It was okay. And every penny or dime or whatever I found, I took it to the bank. Like those days I was like really frugal. I walked it into the bank and this lady's like, you're depositing $1.25. I'm like, yep, that's all I have today. She looked at me like, okay. And I said, could you put that into my passbook, please? Like, just write it. Those little. She's like, oh my gosh, really? Yes, I need the receipt, please. So I started having those habits of saving. I was always saving. I never spent. Anything that I needed was for my parents, because it's housing, clothing, food. That was my needs. Those are my needs. My wants, I really never had a want. I wanted to go volunteer at the local hospital or other schools, or I always volunteered, and I always wanted to do fun things like sports. And I did a radio TV broadcasting. I did that with a radio broadcasting club. So I was part of a lot of clubs and teams and all kinds of stuff, and learning new things. I also learned new things. So those are like my wants. And then savings and anyway, that came later. So just keep that in mind, 50%, 30%, 20%, but you can change that in any way you want. Just put more emphasis on what you like, what you find most important, right, at the moment, but always have something that makes you some money. All right. So that's my $100 example. $50 to savings, right? Or no, $50 to your needs. And then you have $30, which is 30% going to your wants. And then 20%, you can split that half and half, towards your savings and half towards your debt. So just trying to flip it around so you're gaining more money versus your creditors. All right. So $1,000 example. He's like, wait a minute. You just added a zero. Yeah, I did. So 50% of your income goes to needs, right? That's $500. 30% goes to your wants. That's $300, and then 20% to your savings and your debt. Whichever way you divide that, that will be $200. Sometimes I'm so frugal I don't even pay towards my debt unless I really have to. So those are pretty much all my examples. But the program that we have is very customized. We don't cookie cut for anyone. It's like, I mean,
allowed to ask questions?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you said pay the creditors less, but sometimes that's not always the best.
I know.
So can you like elaborate?
There are ways to do that.
Okay.
So if there's a minimum payment due, pay the minimum, right? Because what I was doing was I was paying 3 times, 4 times the minimum, just because they kept calling me, right? Because, oh, you didn't pay. I'm like, yeah, I paid, but oh, you didn't pay the minimum. Oh, okay. How much was I missing from minimum? $2. And then some creditors will charge you if you don't pay the minimum, that you'll get charged a late fee. But if you've paid in advance, let's just say the minimum was $15 and I paid $400 1 month, that billing cycle. I paid $400. Next month, nothing is due. Next month after that, nothing else might be due. So you might have a few months grace.
Oh, well, some creditors, they don't care if you paid $100. They still want their little minimum fee.
Oh, I know. Some creditors do that, but there are some credit cards where you can pay ahead.
Oh, okay.
And then you don't. Yeah, and then you don't pay for a few months. I know you can do that with some car loans.
Okay.
Did that a couple of times. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks.
I thought so. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, credit cards are a bunch of them have raised their interest rates lately. It's just terrible. A bunch of them.
Now that's like 25%.
Oh man, I've seen more than that. Like 29.97 for one.
Yeah,
for one card. One of my clients has that card, and it's like, wow.
One that's $4 interest every day, so that's not too bad. Like $4.
Nah, not too bad.
Yeah, but if I pay early, I don't $4.
Well, we need to take a look at that one, because sometimes they are compounding, right? And they're adjusting their interest, and they're adding it every day. Like, there's so many things I disagree with for credit cards. So,
well, we're gonna start a Susan Vanderberg credit card company.
Well, for now, it's just getcreditcure.com. And the first step for people to work with us is just to get on that website. And there are 2 steps, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. And I mean this very seriously. I'm very busy, and so are a lot of people that contact us. So when people contact us, I don't want to talk to just everybody. I can't. I used to, and I can't. Nobody on my team can. So for people who are interested in working with us, just get onto the website and get onto the first link, which is to get your credit report. That will show that you are ready. If you don't do that first step, that means you're not ready. So that's okay. You don't have to be ready. It's just when you're ready, And then the second step is for people who've already gone through our level 1 program, and they're ready to build passive income. And that's for people who have more knowledge about business, real estate, and just finances. They're better equipped, and they will be a better fit for that program. So some people are qualified to go from level 1 to level 2, but not all of them will stay into level 2 because, like I said, I know a lot of secrets I don't want to share with everybody. I might never share them. But I do
But
have.
if they become a part of your credit care company, so that's good.
No, this is beyond credit care.
What, girl?
It's beyond credit care. Yeah, credit care is
Well,
only
hope
a stepping
share the
stone.
secret to me.
Wow.
Mhm.
We'll see. It's
Yeah.
a secret. I'm just kidding. No, I've found a lot of shortcuts, and I can tell you this because I worked in the banks, right? I also originated loans as a mortgage broker or mortgage loan consultant. So I sold real estate for about 13 plus years as a licensee. And I do not sell real estate currently. I do not sell insurance, do not sell anything to my clients other than my budgeting and mentoring. So it's business and financial mentoring. That's all I provide right now through Credit Care and another program that I have. And the level 2 is often by referral and by application only. So the reason I developed that program is because I really struggled as a minority female and trying to get finances as a business owner. Just imagine this, okay? Just think about what I had to go through to get money. It's like, oh, I think I have to look pretty. They'll like me, and then they'll give me money, right? When I go into the bank. Well, that's not how it works. I was dressed up in a nice suit. I had my portfolio with me and everything. Applied. Sorry, ma'am, we can't give you a loan right now. I'm like, why? I have everything you asked. Well, you don't fit our requirements. But they would never tell me what those requirements were. You'll receive a letter in the mail, right? So I've tried this for many years, and I thought, oh, I'll just give up. But I'll do it my way. I'm not going to play with these banks, that keep rejecting me. So I created my own little program of how to get qualified, how to get financing, and I can't share that with everybody. Because I struggled. Just kidding. No, I will share with all my clients. I will share. But the problem is when people find such an easy solution, they really doubt it. They're like, it's so easy. This must be a scam, because I'm giving them like the steps that they need to take that it took me 20 plus years to figure out and to apply. All right. So some people are like, oh, it's really? I just do this and I get whatever it is out. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty easy. But not everybody can reach that level. Not everyone can get into the level 2 program. And the ones that do, I can't always keep them there. So, and there are reasons. And, biggest reason is mindset. Secondary, is going back to bad habits. And third is being surrounded by people that are wrong for whatever choices that they are at that moment in time. For example, if the moment that I'm at right now, I am not the same person as I was when I lived in the basement, or the same person I was when I was in college working 5 part-time jobs, or the same person that I was when I got my car repossessed, right? Or the same person that I was when I couldn't even afford my tuition. I'm not that same person. Like, I don't have those bad habits.
Don't
I mean,
worry.
I do.
You're all
Huh?
night to share the secret. Don't worry. We'll stay on here. No, just kidding.
Oh, no. I mean,
Just kidding.
the secrets are within reach. It's just that if you don't have the right mindset, you won't see them.
Mm-hmm.
You won't realize those are the secrets,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why it's a secret.
Steps? How many? Can you at least tell us how many steps? How many
Well,
steps?
what?
I said the secret. How many steps is it?
So many. But, well, the level 2 program is where basically I'm like your mentor. I customize the program for you to build passive income. And I mean this very seriously, because when I sign on someone to be my mentee, that person has all of my time and energy and focus. But if that person is not focused or has the mentality that's needed to succeed, that person will not succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. I mean, I could give you all the information, all the steps to follow, but you don't do what you need to do, it's just not going to work. Just like if you had a cold or something wrong with your health, you go see the doctor. Doctor says, well, you need to take this and certain times and whatever, and stop doing whatever, and you don't follow those instructions, right? What do you think will happen? You're not going to get well, and maybe you'll get worse because you're doing other things to counteract whatever you're supposed to take.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a reason why the company was called Credit Cure, because we don't just fix the credit and then you go back to your bad habits. It's more like we fix it and it remains fixed. And then next level, if you're ready and if you want to, not everybody wants to. If you want to create the passive income, the life with dignity and abundance, that's where you continue to pursue level 2 and further. But the program is just level 1 and 2.
Well,
I'm trying to keep it simple,
You did share some really good key points when it comes to like how to divide your money. Like that's huge. Some people don't realize that dividing your money is actually important to budgeting and being able to save and manage.
I know.
Another thing.
So when you look at when you go downtown or go to any big like hotel or casino, right? You'll see how luxurious and nicely furnished those buildings are. And, I really like working in those big buildings, because I feel like, wow, I can see the world. I can see, when I had my 5 part-time jobs, I imagined I was traveling. So I was driving, like we were taking the bus from one job to the next job. I was traveling. People are like, what do you do? I do a lot of things, but I like to travel, So that was like my travel, right? But I was just imagining I was traveling. But when you allocate your money, you have to think, okay, I have $20. Like that, I need to see how I can make $20 last until next month. If that's all I have, if that's all I'm getting. And literally, when you're a kid, $20 was a lot of money. I never had an allowance. I mean, it was like, well, here's your birthday money. Oh, good, thank you. That's my birthday money, but I need to see how to last that for the whole year, right? And if I was being generous with myself, I'll say, how can I last this for the month? But I often save that $20 for years, until my parents needed it for something. So that's aggressively saving is 100%, everything into savings, right? So you have to adjust it to your lifestyle. And that's how I base my budgeting on. It's highly customized for the client. So for example, you want to let's say you want to buy a house, you're a first-time home buyer. Ideally, the program, if you're following it correctly, you will get qualified. I don't want to say will, but you would. I've seen it happen. So let's just say you do qualify within 6 months to get a mortgage, supposing you follow the program step by step. So I've had clients who come onto our program so excited because the first week that we start working, the credit scores jumped. Like for one client, it was at 520 and it jumped up to like 620. And she's like, what?
To get the credit card paid down, doesn't you to pay more onto the credit card, right?
Yes. That's the trap. It's a trap. So I'm like, I mean, if you have to, if you really want to, yes. And if you had the money, yes. But you have to think, where's my money? Where is my saving? Like, where am I? How would I be that bank with the big building or the luxurious furnishings? You can't do that if you've paid off all your, debt. You didn't have any reserves. You didn't have anything else making you more money. So I had to, and I'm calling that leveraging. When you borrow money, you're leveraging. So you're using other people's money, you're leveraging. So when you use a credit card, think of it like, how do I leverage this credit card to make me more money?
To invest.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you buy that, I'm just using coffee for an example. I know some people need it. So, okay, you use the coffee. So let's not use coffee as an example then. let's just say you, what's a want? Tell me a want.
We want to buy, yeah, like you said, a house is a good one. We want to buy a house. We want to buy
Well,
a
that's a
car.
need. It's a
Oh, well,
need. It's
need an
shelter.
apartment. You can live in a townhome.
You can, yeah, you can.
You can be a room. You can live in a hotel.
You could, yeah.
Your
That's
shelter.
nice
But,
too.
oh, but I think a want is I would say getting hair extensions.
Okay. All right. So let's
That's
just say I want hair extensions, right? So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna spend this how many times a year? So that's the long range planning, is like, how many times a year do I need to get that done, right? Once a month.
Well, you buy
I
one time, but you get it done once a month, and it's $500 a month.
I know. So 500 a month times how many months? 12?
12.
So how much are you spending a year?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus, oh my gosh.
Look, put it like that.
Yeah. So let's do some quick math. Anybody in math whiz here? 12 times.
That's
Wait, how much?
6,000. That's 6,000.
Yeah.
Right? 12 times 5 is 60. So add the zeros.
Yeah.
I think.
This is, well, let's break out our calculator.
The
Anyone watching can tell us? I want you to figure it out. I want you to tell me. Because when someone tells you what it is, it's not as impactful.
Yeah.
So you do 12 times 500. Yeah, your calculator. 12 times how much? 500? 6,000. You were right the first time. I was giving you a hard time. Yes, it's 6,000.
Okay.
So you think about that. Okay, let's just say $6,000. Today, if you had really good credit, right, and if you're a first-time buyer, and really good is like more than 720, but you could still get into a house with a 680 credit score. You know, when I say get into a house, that means
even 640. I heard.
Oh yeah, you
somebody
can.
640
So,
said, girl.
Yes. So even if you qualify, that's like your foot in the door. Well, no pun intended. But that's like, you're getting you're getting an advantage. All right. So think of how else you could spend that $6,000. Right? That could be part of your down payment if you needed it. That could be part of your closing costs if you needed it. Or if you get into the first-time homebuyer programs where it's zero down, like nothing down, that could be
furniture.
Yeah, you could.
Pay your first
because that's a need, right? That's a need.
Yeah, get your first month's mortgage.
Well, the thing is, when you close escrow, you're actually paying the mortgage ahead of time. So usually you have like 2 or 3 months like leeway. So you have time to come up with the money for the mortgage, but that's already paid into escrow. So,
and then also, all we need to do for furniture is just hit up American Society of Community Benefits. And I was just kidding.
supposing American Society of Community Benefits has really generous donors.
Look, we
need the funding. We need it. Yeah.
Thrift store, and we're gonna start a furniture thrift store for first-time homeowners.
Ooh, that's a good idea. CT has really great ideas. Yeah, it's so much fun talking to you all the time. So yeah, think about that. So that's easily $6,000 that you could save. So if you did that, let's just say you cut that in half, right? 3,000. So you're doing it every other month instead of every month. Your hair extensions. Right? I don't know if you can. I was telling you, I think I need a wig.
I'm not doing that.
Change my hairstyle.
No, but I never paid that much. But I do know there was a lady who charges that much a month for what
I know. Yeah, I know they do. Yeah, it's like a specialty. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe you can start a hair store like that.
It's crazy. I considered it. There's things that I want to do, but it's like I'm already doing too much.
I know. And that's another thing too, is multiple sources of income, right? So how else are you leveraging your time? So when you are working at a job, you really have no leverage, other than you going to work. What if something happened to you? Well, if you don't have insurance, especially disability insurance,
and then they make it
family. Yeah.
Yeah, they make it tough for you to get workers' comp?
Well, you get what? Well, not just that, but if you were injured on the job, of course, you could apply for workers' comp, and then that might get like disputed or whatever. But you have a right to apply for that and just go through the process. Okay. But if they overpay you, well, you better pay them back because it's insurance. So if they overpay you, you have to pay it back. And I, a while ago when I talked to one of my clients, she said, they just sent me a check for $5,000. I said, for what? I don't know. It's like, she didn't know what it was. And so I said, I think it's a draw from your insurance, but you better not cash that check. You better return it. And I was right. She had to return that check. She was not supposed to keep it. So we got that settled. See what I mean? That's a shortcut, So when people come to me and they have a problem that they think is really complicated, I'm like, that's all you have to do. Like, really? Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh, okay. Well, all these people are telling me to do other things. I know. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So, I mean, this is what I mean. When I work with my clients, I don't, I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm not trying to, I don't sell real estate. I don't sell insurance or whatever people are, buying. So,
I think
information. Yeah.
And I do love that what you're doing actually ties into American Society of Community Benefits, because
It does.
Pour into your foundation. So I think that that's also huge.
Yeah. I do. And what's really cool is that we actually have global reach for the organization because of Giving Tuesday. American Society of Community Benefits is actually a global leader, one of the community leaders for the global campaign. And we have our own little heart on the map, on the Giving Tuesday map. That's why I was like so excited. I'm like, we need to do this. Come on, people.
Hey, so you guys should be able to find it.
Yes, it's on, and it's streaming there too. Mm-hmm.
I do have to go soon.
I know, me too. I have another show. It was really fun though. One last question before I go about credit or finance.
Huh?
Anybody? Do you have another question for credit or finance before I go?
Okay, so my question would be, if I wanted to purchase a vehicle for my business, do you believe that it's important to have a DUNS number, or people don't know?
DUNS number? Yeah, you should. Well, the DUNS is like equivalent to a credit score for your business, but nowadays it's something else. You would have to also increase your PAYDEX score. So PAYDEX is like more important than DUNS. But it depends on where you go. But there are ways to buy a vehicle. I can show you how. But yeah, I know. But if you're buying a car and you're buying a house, make sure there's enough time in between. Let's just say you're trying to get a house, but then you might not need a car right now. So can you wait?
Right.
But if you need a car right now, then you would have to wait a little bit to get qualified for the house.
Yes, that makes sense. Oh, sorry, I'm all stretching on here. Sorry.
You were saying you just got not enough sleep, so it's okay.
So I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. This will be on Amazon TV, Roku, and Google, and it's also going to the YouTube channel. So yeah, nice. Check us out. Yay. Thank you all for supporting us and watching us today. All right.
Follow American Society of Community Benefits on Facebook.
Yes, please do.
Bye.
We do need supporters. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.